Have you ever heard your child's teacher say, "They were wonderful today"? And then, the moment you get home, your child refuses to take off their shoes. Dinner becomes an argument. Bath time becomes a meltdown. You may start wondering, why does my child behave like this only with me? And even more painfully, am I doing something wrong? But before you blame yourself or your child, there's something important to understand. Children don't behave the same way in every environment. A classroom and a home are not the same environment. At preschool, there may be predictable routines, clear expectations, group transitions, and other children doing the same thing. At home, the situation can be completely different. There may be siblings, dinner to prepare, screens to turn off, a bath, bedtime, and a parent asking for one more thing after a long day. A visual sequence within one illustration showing the parent handling several everyday transitions: shoes, dinner, screen off, bath, and bedtime. You may see your child through the entire sequence: wake up, get dressed, school, home, dinner, bath, bed. You're not necessarily seeing a worse child. You may simply be present for more moments that require regulation. This is especially important with young children. A toddler or preschooler can understand a rule without consistently being able to follow it when emotions become intense. They are still developing impulse control, frustration tolerance, flexible thinking, communication, and the ability to calm themselves. Children aren't all wired to respond to frustration in the same way. Some recover quickly. Others react intensely. Some adapt easily to changes. Others need more time. You've probably heard this explanation. Your child behaves worse with you because you're their safe person. There's some truth in the broader idea that familiar caregivers can be important sources of comfort and emotional support. But we should be careful. A meltdown with a parent does not automatically prove secure attachment, and it doesn't mean every difficult behavior is happening because the child feels safe. The next time your child falls apart at home, try becoming a detective instead of a judge. Don't just look at what happened. Look at what happened before it. Was your child hungry, tired, coming home from school, leaving a favorite activity, dealing with a sibling, moving from one routine to another? Instead of asking, "Why are you doing this to me?" try replacing it with, "What is difficult about this moment?" You don't have to change the boundary. You can say, "You really wanted to keep playing." Then, "Leaving is still happening." You can say, "I know you're angry," and "I'm not going to let you hit." You can be warm and firm at the same time. Because when the same behavior happens every evening, you become tired too. Your frustration increases your child's distress. Their distress increases your frustration. And suddenly, you're both stuck in a cycle. Sometimes the most useful intervention isn't finding the perfect parenting sentence. It's recognizing, "I'm getting overwhelmed too." Take a breath, lower your voice, slow the interaction down. Most differences in behavior between home and other settings are not, by themselves, evidence of a disorder, but persistent, severe, unsafe behavior or significant developmental concerns deserve professional attention. So why does your child sometimes seem like a completely different person with you? There isn't one universal answer. Instead of asking, "Why do I get the worst version of my child?" try asking, "What is my child finding difficult right now?" Because your child isn't a behavior problem you need to defeat. They're a developing human being, still learning how to handle frustration, still learning how to communicate, still learning how to regulate enormous feelings, with a brain that is still growing. You may not be getting the worst version of your child. You may simply be seeing a child who still needs help with the hardest parts of being human.